What poppin', man? It's currently February 1st at 10:23 p.m. as y'all can see. I'm really gonna do too much talking. 15 minutes on the clock, and let's lock in. All right, so we're currently in chapter 5, How to Think and Dream Creatively, and we are on page 115. So I'm picking up where I left off yesterday. It says, under the circumstances, the boss doesn't hold it against the employee because it is extra duty, so to speak. But the boss realizes the task must be done, and he'll keep looking until he finds an employee who is just as busy as the rest, but who feels he can take on more. And this employee is the fellow who will forge ahead. In business, in the home, in the community, the success combination is do what you do better, improve the quality of your output, and do more of what you do, increase the quality of your output. Convinced it pays to do more or be better, then try this 2-step procedure. All right, so number 1, it says, eagerly accept the opportunity to do more. It's a compliment to be asked to take on new responsibility. Accepting greater responsibility on the job makes you stand out and shows that you're more valuable. When your neighbors ask you to represent them on a civic matter, accept. It helps you to become a community leader. Number 2, next, concentrate on how I can do more. Creative answers will come. Some of these answers may be planning or organizing of your present work, or taking intelligent shortcuts in your routine activities, or possibly dropping non-essential activities altogether. But let me repeat, the solution for doing more will appear. As a personal policy, I have accepted fully the concept. If you want it done, give it to a busy man. I refuse to work on important projects with persons who have lots of free time. I have learned from painful, expensive experiences that the fellow who has plenty of time makes an ineffective work partner. All the successful, competent people I know are busy. When I start some project with them, I know it will be satisfactorily completed. I have learned in dozens of instances that I can count on a busy man to deliver. But I have often been disappointed in working with people who have all the time in the world. Progressive business management consistently asks, what can we do to expand our output? Why not ask yourself, what can I do to expand my output? Your mind would creatively show you how. In dozens of interviews with people at levels I've made this discovery, the bigger the person, the more apt he is to encourage you to talk. The smaller the person, the more apt he is to preach to you. Big people monopolize the listening. Small people monopolize the talking. Note this also. Top-level leaders in walks of life spend much more time requesting advice than they do giving it. Before a top man makes a decision, he asks, how do you feel about it? What do you recommend? What do you understand of these circumstances? What does this sound to you? Look at it this way. A leader is the decision-making human machine. Now, to manufacture anything, you've got to have a raw material. In reaching creative decisions, the raw materials are the ideas and suggestions of others. Don't, of course, accept other people to give you ready-made solutions. That's not the primary reason of asking and listening. Ideas of others help to spark your own ideas, so your mind is more creative. Facts, man. Man, it's so crazy. Like, when you realize that life is literally trial and error, but if you don't try, you will never know if it's going to succeed or not. Like, recently, I participated as a staff instructor in an executive management seminar. The seminar consisted of 12 sessions. One of the highlights of each meeting was 15 minutes discussion by one of the executives on the topic, how I solved my most pressing management problem. At the ninth session, the executive who turned it was a vice president of a large milk processing company did something different. Instead of telling how he solved his problem, he announced his topic as needed. Help on solving my help help on solving my most pressing management problem. He quickly outlined his problem and then asked the group for ideas on solving it. To be sure he got a record of each suggested, he had a stenographer in the room taking down everything that was said. Later I talked with this man and complimented him on his unique approach. His comment was, "There are very sharp men in this group. I just figured I'd harvest some ideas. There's a good possibility something someone said during the session may have given me a clue I needed to solve the problem." Note, this executive presented his problem, then listened. In doing so, he got some decision-making raw material, and as a side benefit, the other executives in the audience enjoyed the discussion because it gave them the opportunity to take part. Successful businesses invest large sums in customer research. Facts. Business, you gotta know your customers, because you have to know what type of people are they, what are they like, what are they. Facts. You have to do your customer research. Note, I'm tripping. Okay. Successful businesses invest large sums in customer research. They ask people about the taste, quality, size, and the appearance of the product. Listening to people provides definite ideas for making the product more saleable. Like I just said, it also suggests to the manufacturer what he should tell consumers about the product in the advertising. The procedure for developing successful products is to get as much opinion as you can, listening to people who will buy the product, and then design the product and its promotion to please these people. Facts. This business 101 right there. You got to know your audience, you know. In an office recently, I noticed a sign that said, "To sell John Brown what John Brown buys." You've got to see things through John Brown's eyes. Facts. Exactly. To sell John Brown what John Brown buys, you've got to see things through John Brown's eyes. That's crazy. And the way to get John Brown's vision is to listen to what John Brown has to say. Your ears are your intake valves. Your ears are your intake valves. They feed your mind raw materials that can be converted into creative power. We learn nothing from telling, but there is no limit to what we can learn by asking and listening. Try this 3-step stage program to strengthen your creativity through asking and listening. All right, so number 1, it says encourage others to talk. In personal conversation or in group meetings, draw out people with little urges, such as, "Tell me about your experience," or "What do you think this should be done about it?" or "What do you think this is the key point?" Encouraging others to talk, and you win a double-barrel victory. Your mind soaks up raw materials that you can use to produce creative thought, and you win friends. There is no surer way to get people to like you than to encourage them to talk to you. Number 2, test your own views in the form of questions. Let other people help you smooth and polish your ideas. Use the "what do you think of this suggestion" approach. Don't be dogmatic. I wonder what's dogmatic mean? Dogmatic. I feel like I've heard this before. Dogmatic means someone who asserts them with personal beliefs of undeniable facts. And let's see if we're saying it correctly.
Dogmatic.
Okay, dogmatic. Okay. Don't announce a fresh idea as if it were handed down on a gold tablet. Do a little informal research first. See how your associates react to it. If you do, chances are you'll end up with a better idea. And number 3, concentrate on what the other person says. Listening is more than just keeping your mouth keeping your own mouth shut. Listening means letting what's said penetrate your mind. So often people pretend to listen when they aren't listening at all. They're just waiting for the other person to pause so they can take over with talking. Concentrate on what the other person says. Evaluate it. That's how you collect mind food. See, it said a very good thing. A lot of people wait to have somebody else finish talking and then they don't really understand, or they just exclude what everyone else is saying. Like, sometimes you have to take a step back and listen and actually articulate what someone is telling you. So that's facts. More and more leading universities are offering advanced management training programs for senior business executives. According to the sponsors, the big benefit of these programs is not that the executives get ready-made formulae that they can use to operate their business more efficiently. Rather, they benefit most from the opportunity to exchange and discuss new ideas. Many of these programs require the executives to live together in college dormitories, thus encouraging bull sessions. Boiled down to one word, the executives benefit most from the stimulation received. A year ago, I directed 2 sessions in 1-week sales management school in Atlanta, sponsored by the National Sales Executive Incorporation. A few weeks later, I met a salesman friend who had worked one-on-one with one of the sales executives who had attended the school. You people at the school sure gave my sales manager a lot of things to do to run our company better, my young friend said. Curious, I asked him specifically what changes he noticed. He reeled off on a number of things: a revision in the compensation plan, sales meeting twice a month instead of once a month, new business cards and stationery, a revision in sales territories, not one of which was specifically recommended in the training program. The sales manager didn't get a bunch of canned techniques. Instead, he got something much more valuable: the stimulation to think of ideas directly beneficial to his own particular organization. A young accountant for a paint manufacturer told me about a very successful venture of his that was sparked by ideas by others. I never had more than a casual interest in real estate, he told me. I've been a professional accountant for several years now, and I've stuck pretty close to my profession. One day, a realtor friend invited me to his guest at a luncheon of one of the city's real estate groups. The speaker that day was an older man who had seen the city grow. His talk about the next 20 years, he predicted that the metropolitan area continued to grow far out into the surrounding farmland. He also predicted that there would be a record demand for what he called gentleman-sized farms, 2 to 5 acres, big enough so the businessman or professional person could have pools, horses, a garden, and other hobbies that require space. This man's talk really stimulated me. What he described was exactly what I wanted. The next few days, I asked several friends what they thought about the idea of someday owning a 5-acre estate. Everyone I talked to, in fact, said, "I love it." I continued to think about it and figure out how I could turn the idea into profit. The other day, I was driving to work and the answer came out of nowhere. Why not buy a farm and divide it into estates? I figured out the land might be worth more in more relative. I figured the land might be more in relatively small pieces than in one big piece. I don't know why I butchered that word, y'all. 22 miles from the center of the city, I found a worn out 50-acre farm priced at $8,500. I bought it, paying only 1/3 down and working out a mortgage with the owner for the balance. Next, I planted pine seedlings where there were no trees. I did this because a real estate man whom I feel knows his business told me people want trees these days, lots of trees. I wanted my prospective buyers to see that in which a few years their estate would be covered with beautiful pine trees. Then I got a surveyor to divide the 50 acres into 10 5-acre plots. Now I was ready to sell. Now I was ready to start selling. All right. Timer just went off, y'all, but I'm gonna finish this one paragraph and then I'll pick it up tomorrow. It says, now I was ready to start selling. I got several mailing listed of young executives in the city and put out on a small scale direct mail campaign. I pointed out how for only $3,000, the price of a small city lot, they could buy an estate. I also described the potentials for the recreation and wholesome living. In 6 weeks' time, working only evenings and on weekends, I sold all 10 plots. Total income was $30,000. Total costs included the land, advertising, surveying, and legal expenses was $10,400. The profit was $19,600. I really want to read some more, so I'm gonna just read the bottom and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. I made a nice profit because I let myself be exposed to ideas of other intelligent people. Had I not accepted the invitation to attend a luncheon with a group completely foreign to my occupation interests, my brain would have never worked out this successful plan for making a profit. There are 2 ways to get mental stimulation, but here are 2 that you can incorporate into your own pattern of life. So we only going to focus on the first one. Tomorrow we're going to get on the second one. The first one is join and meet regularly with at least one professional group that provides stimulation in one's own occupation area. Rub shoulders and minds with other successful oriented people. All right, so we're going to get a number 2 tomorrow, y'all. So go ahead and put the bookmark here. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay encouraged. We get up with y'all tomorrow.